I'm glad I thought about that fucking now. It's all right. We caught it real early. All right. It's all right. Caught it real early. At least it was real early. I'd have been real sad at the end of all that. Anyway. Greetings and salutations. My name is MichaelSchwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out Dyschronia? It's one of those. I don't know. Dyschronia Chronos Alternate. This is a VR game that's coming out. I don't know if it's strictly limited to MetaQuest 2, but of course MetaQuest 2 right now is the largest VR platform. There are some others out there. I know like a lot of people will go after like the HTC Vive because of the way that it has like body scanners and the extra like room scans that you can put up. Steam has one, or Valve does, and the Valve Index? I think it's called the Valve Index VR kit. And the only reason I even know about it is because it's $1,000. And if anyone buys one, it gets put up to the top of the Steam like bestseller list, because that goes off of actual like numbered purchase value rather than number of copies. And then the only other thing you could really mention is the PSVR. And the PSVR, I feel like didn't ever really get any legs, and it's probably because it was on the PlayStation 4. We recently got the announcement for the PSVR 2, which is going to be for the PlayStation 5. And the PlayStation 5 is a much more powerful system, and with those two things together, if Sony actually puts some support behind it, I think the PSVR 2 actually has a chance. Whereas I don't feel like they gave it enough of a chance when it was just the PSVR. Like, I feel like what was the best thing that was on the PSVR? The Final Fantasy 15 fishing game? Was there anything else? I don't know. PSVR was amazing. I still prefer my Oculus Quest. We have a Quest 2, and we like it a lot. It's really good. It's what I wanted out of a VR system, which is I wanted a standalone VR system. No cable hooked up to anything. That said, if I want to play something like Half-Life Alyx, I have to plug it into my computer and use the extra computer power and stuff like that. So it's not perfect, but the fact that it can be used on its own is very impressive, and I appreciate it a lot for that. But PSVR 2, just in terms of being a comparison that is hooked up to a machine, I think it has a chance. And we are seeing more and more people try to build VR games that aren't just rhythm games, that aren't just walking simulators, that aren't just environment simulators. And this is a game that I think might have a chance to make an impact. And it is a 3-episode game, and I don't know the context of if you have to buy each episode individually or how it's going to work in that aspect. That's what we're here to hopefully find out. But what I know is it's a murder mystery game. You're playing a detective, I think, that is trying to solve some sort of murder mystery. And that sounds fantastic for VR, right? Because you can be in a VR space and see like the body and evidence and look around and stuff like that and try and find clues and stuff and have this interactive space that feels like it has a purpose to being interactive in terms of being in a VR environment. So, you know, it's just something to think about. But we got a lot of trailers. These are all from the actual Chrono Universe channel. Most of them are fairly short, somewhere between 30 minutes, fairly short, 30 minutes. Most of them are 30 seconds to a minute and a half. We're going to start all the way at the back. This is the earliest trailer that I saw for it, which was July 19th of last year. And we go all the way up to a trailer that was just released a few days back, which is released on September 8th. So let's just get started. I might move through these pretty quickly depending on what's in them, but I'll stop yapping. My dearest. Biohazard Star Wars? Which Star Wars game? Seemed a bit loud.
Dyschronia.
Well, we know how to pronounce it now. Dyschronia. Also, I would like to point out that that said early 2022. They missed that mark. That's okay, but because that just is the standard now for video games. Turn back time. Okay, so I wonder if there'll be a time element to try and help you solve the murder. Squadron? Was Squadron in VR? Man, that sounds like Vomit Simulator. Good. Elder Scrolls? Sure. Alright, I've seen some funny things with Elder Scrolls in VR. Resident Evil 7? Oh, right. But wasn't that more of like an experience? Because it was only the beginning section at the house, right? It wasn't... You couldn't play the entire game. Just waifu bait? Well, that's adorable. Oh, let me get... Was that... That wasn't my mouse on the screen. Was it? I don't know. Very stylized approach. It's always interesting to see how people want to approach VR in terms of if they take like a really heavy cel-shaded look to try and make it easier on the system while hopefully trying to make it also easier to make you less sick. Easier on the system, higher refresh rate, lower chances of motion sickness.
What lies beyond the dream.
Feel like these have not given us anything. Mind you, these are still really, really early trailers, right? On console, wait, where's my mouse at? In VR on Oculus from Facebook, it is now not called the Oculus, it's called the Meta Quest. Because it's not called Facebook anymore, it's called Meta. And it's also going to be on Nintendo Switch. Okay. I would like to see more of this game. I don't feel like they've shown us much of the game yet, but this was also early. This was also, I think, in June of last year. So we should be getting it, October of last year. And now we're moving to June of this year. So jumping forward, what, 8 months? It's quite a bit of time.
Astrum Closed City. Paradise. The nanomachine collective, Kairos, eliminates the population's dark thoughts during dreaming.
What?
No crime is possible. But today...
Okay.
The founder of the city has been murdered. It's your duty, Supervisor Hal, to find the killer. Explore your abilities as Variant. Use your memory dive. Manipulate the past. And unveil the truth. Avoid the destruction of the last paradise of humanity. Bring the murderer to justice. But be careful. The past hides mysteries. For a reason.
Let's finish this.
Shouldn't I be dead?
So, one of my favorite movies of all time is Equilibrium with Christian Bale in the leading role. And one of the primary premises of that movie is that in order to reach a believed utopia, everyone takes an injection multiple times a day that completely suppresses your emotion system. Nobody has any feeling. Like, you're still alive and you still are a cog in the machine, but you don't feel happy or sad or love or anger or anything like that. And that's what allowed for a utopia to exist, because nobody had any strong feelings, so therefore nobody would act out in any way. This feels close. We devour all of your negative thoughts and emotions while you're asleep, so that way you won't commit crimes while you're awake. Kind of adjacent of, what was it, We Happy Few, where everyone takes happy pills. This is them just doing like a tech test? Like how many things they can render in the game without the quest crashing. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I mean, as we continue to improve technology, like even in 5 years, we're gonna have some insane freaking VR headsets, right? So here's a stealth section. No, I'm not over here. I love seeing developers starting to get more creative with VR. Oh, God. Can you imagine playing Alien Isolation like this? Oh, no. We still got 2 more. So this is the release date announcement, and then we have the wish list trailer. So it always makes the question, how big of a room do these people really have to play games like this? Well, with that particular circumstance, with that stealth section, we saw that the game might give you the option to move when you move, but they were moving forward by going like this with your hand controllers. That's how they moved, was we're going to emulate the act of moving by, moving your arms up and down. They might have an option where if you have a big enough space, you can move around yourself to be able to move around in the VR space. But that's always a limitation, right? Is like, because also depending on the type of movement, they found that in terms of like just using a joystick, of pushing a joystick forward to move you forward, generally triggers motion sickness in a lot of people. I don't know much about this type of movement in terms of if that helps prevent motion sickness or not, but that's always the thing that's trying to overcome, is the motion sickness part of it. Seems exhausting. Oh man, I wish they didn't remove the best feature of Alien Isolation for PC. What feature is that?
Paradise. The nanomachine collective, Kairos, eliminates the population's dark thoughts during dreaming. No crime is possible. But today,
the person committed the crime by just never going to sleep.
the founder of the city,
Eve, I believe the PC version has been updated to have that feature included, because a streamer friend was playing with that feature enabled, and I believe they were on PC.
Manipulate the past
This looks like the same trailer,
and unveil the truth.
but is this just gonna be the same, but it's gonna have a release date at the end?
Of humanity. Bring the murderer to justice.
This is most definitely the same exact trailer, same
past
pacing,
hides
steps, narrative.
For a reason.
Let's finish this.
Shouldn't I be dead?
Dyschronia. Chronos alternate.
All you're getting is a mod for it. Episode 1 of 3, September 22nd. Oh, so it's not even going to be fully out when it comes out. Man, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't like it. Let's see if this trailer is any different. This is the wish list trailer. Maybe the person that I know that was playing with that feature on PC was using the mod. I don't know, though. Okay, this is definitely a different trailer. Or at least so far is.
Supervisor Halcyon, inaugurated just 5 minutes ago.
What's going on?
Homicide detected. Victim, Albert Rumford.
He was killed?
The city's in grave danger, but I have no doubt you're capable of sorting this all out.
Find Albert's body. Find the perpetrator. There isn't a moment to lose.
Today, the city falls. Nightmare becomes reality.
but I've got to kill you.
What was Rumford researching down here?
Let's finish this.
It's a shame, but I can't trust someone who doesn't remember their past.
Look, you gotta tell me, was it you who killed the prof?
They're expecting you to uncover the truth in your account.
That was a very abrupt, like, move to the end of that trailer. The game is interesting, honestly, but I'm on the fence. Yeah, I'm sad. I knew it was episodic, but I was kind of hoping that the episodes would all be released together. I don't know why I thought that that was going to be the case. I mean, I think it was just wishful thinking on my part. Just because, like, I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to episode 2 or episode 3. And on top of that, like, the episodes look fairly small, right? Because really we saw it's like, oh, hey, here's our world building, our introduction, dude is dead, here's a couple of small puzzles that we've already shown you in multiple trailers, and the primary aspect that we've been really, like, heading on is this moment where you're stealthing around and there's this chick with an energy gun that's trying to find you and kill you, which is fine, but I'm guessing it's like maybe an hour. Like, and I don't feel like I'm being too harsh on that expectation. If they have a lot of exposition and dialogue and world building and stuff, it might be pushed out to 2 hours, but I feel like it's a very bite-sized experience, which I feel like a good number of VR experiences end up being that way unless they have a large amount of replayability, a la rhythm games like Beat Saber, Audica, Synth Riders, and so on. And it just feels like this is going to be very, very small. I don't know how much this costs. We might be able to find out, actually. Because if we can wish list it, then that should mean that there's a price tag, right? Oculus.com. That should be it. Coming soon. It doesn't have a price. Okay. And it is only episode 1 of 3. What if I just type in price? Does that give me anything new? It's going to be $19.99. Does that come with all of the episodes and you just get them when they come out? Is that how this is going to work? This is all just advertising stuff, more advertising stuff, the story, and what? Character. I understand what you were going for. It doesn't work very well. Wait, where's the $19.99 that the... There it is. I'm guessing you probably do get all 3 episodes. September 22nd for episode 1. Episode 2 is winter of 2022, and episode 3 will be spring of 2023. And it won't release onto Switch until everything is available, in which case it'll be out in spring of 2023, of course, subject to change. You bet it's per episode, and when the last episode is released, the first episode comes free. Oh, gag me with a spoon. That would be $60. Unless I'm woefully wrong about the expected length of this product, that would be criminal. And not to say that a short game can't be worth a full price, but there's also certain expectations that you have to meet if you're going to be charging a larger amount for a smaller product overall. And it's both a direction of quality, not just in gameplay, but also in visuals and also payoff, right? So if you're charging more for a smaller package, that package has to deliver a stronger punch. So it's usually how these episodic games usually are. You're not wrong. I'm just hoping you're wrong. But yeah, that is Discrania Chronos Alternate. I would love to hear what your thoughts are about it, especially if you're really into VR. I have VR. I don't use it very much just because there's only so many things that I'm like, that looks like something I want to spend my very limited amount of time on. But there are people that are like, yeah, I love VR. I got a friend that's super into it. But they're very particular still about the games that they really want to get into and stuff like that. All the same, right? Which is fair. But what are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to keep up the conversation elsewhere, two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. And speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do go watch one of those other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Oh my god, Cerulean. I love those little panda bear emotes. Like, I've definitely used some of those panda emotes for my... I've sent them to Fee, the emote artist, and been like, Fee, this is what I want, but as a swan. Like, that's where this comes from. Because one of my most used emotes before I had that swan emote commissioned was the little panda bear version of that emote. All right, one down. Stretch the legs after that one. All right, here we go again. Is everything coming through Discord all right? I just realized. I just want to double check on that. It seems to be running okay. Great, glad to hear it. All right, here we go. Greetings and salutations. My name is MichaelSchwahn, and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out Stormgate. And I do know that we have just the smallest little bit of gameplay for this, but this is a game that I think that once it gets a proper gameplay trailer, that people are going to be much more interested in it if it fits into the genre of games that you are interested in. So Stormgate is being made by Frost Giant Studios, I believe is the name. I'll double check as we actually get through these trailers. We have two. And these are former StarCraft devs. So Blizzard, in all of their wisdom and glory, have been murdering some of their most beloved IPs. They don't support StarCraft basically at all anymore. They gave up on Heroes of the Storm. The only reason that they still support Hearthstone is because people spend way too much money on packs of fake digital cards. And so, I mean, they've cut so much of their staff for one reason or another, right? They've been buying up studios to support World of Warcraft while they murder their other darlings, right? And so, but one of the genres that is often just like floating in the winds, out in the bayous, in the deepest nethers of the edge of the galaxy, is the RTS genre, real-time strategy. And StarCraft largely is the absolute pinnacle of RTS games. I will say, it is far from my favorite. That's probably reserved for Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. If I had to... Just really anything made by Westwood. I really loved everything made by Westwood Studios, which is primarily the earlier Command & Conquer games. But probably Red Alert 2. That game has a very special place in my heart. I enjoyed Warcraft 3. I never got super into StarCraft because I sucked at it, okay? I couldn't beat the computer on easy, okay? I don't know what it was about StarCraft, whether it's the macro or the micro or whatever it is, but I'd be like doing my little base building and having a good time, and then 3 minutes later, the easy PC is like, "Are you ready to deal with 48 Zerglings?" And I'm like, "How the fuck did you build those already?" And it's like, "I'm here to get you ready for the main game." And I'm like, I don't think I want to play the main game. Thanks, StarCraft. All right, well, cool. Good story. All right. Peace out. Good talk. Bye. Another really good RTS game is Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. really good. Highly recommend. Dawn of War, by the way, the first one. There's Dawn of War 2 and 3. Don't recommend either of those. But Dawn of War 1 and all of its expansions, very good. All right, anyway, so we're here to talk about Stormgate, not old RTSs that people don't really play anymore. Stormgate is the new RTS that we have hopes for because it is coming from former StarCraft devs, and I hope that I'm able to play it without getting curb stomped by the AI. But we'll see. This is a cinematic trailer, as just a heads up of what we're getting into first. So the other trailer will have just a little bit of gameplay in it. I mean, a little bit. Love playing army men more than strategy. I mean, that's me too. I want to build up a cool base and organize my stuff and be like, yeah, look at all my dudes. All right, send an army out. Woo! Like, that's definitely me.
Discovery, this is command. Storm's in your back. Prepare for extraction.
Build a cool base with your towers all designed where you want them.
Over. Okay, hurry.
Build the walls that no one else ever actually uses because they're useless in strategic play. Discover that there's actually a gate in the build menu that serves a purpose. Having defendable fort, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. It's like I said, it's playing army men, and I love it. You know, one of the problems with cinematic trailers for RTSs, I would never guess this is an RTS on first glance. I would have guessed, like, Mass Effect knockoff, right?
Mission accomplished.
Action RPG with melee combat due to that being a shield. Yeah, and a gun, you know. We're gonna make like StarCraft Ghosts, but we don't have the rights to Nova, so we just got a different pretty anime protagonist.
Hang tight, Doc. I've got this.
Do you got this?
Glad you could make it.
We gotta move. Now. There's a storm coming.
Hey.
And hell's coming with it.
Register for 2023 beta. Ooh. PlayStormgate.com. Yeah, I believe the beta is actually mid 2023. So we got like 9 months before you can even hope to even think of trying this game. All right, so this is actually the developer update. They have a couple other trailers on their YouTube channel, but they're strictly the devs just talking to a camera. And those are fine, but I don't think that's what we're here for. And so instead, I do note that there is some gameplay clips and shots in this. So that's why we're going to bring this one in as well. Most important question remains, is there a single-player campaign? There better be. There absolutely better be. I feel like too many companies now are not, when it comes to a game that has a multiplayer aspect to it, not giving enough attention to a single-player component.
Together, we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you. Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future, following the near extinction of humanity. This great calamity was caused by the infernal...
Even worse than that, Eve. Halo Infinite just isn't getting couch co-op now. Not officially.
With With our story, we are creating an ever-expanding game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively.
Yeah, they announced that recently,
Chapters will
that
come
they
out
just aren't doing it.
along with new units, maps, modes, and plenty of other surprises. In addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class
Campaign missions.
experience with grassroots and professional tournaments accessible from
We already got that question answered then, Eve.
There
Single
will be
player
games
campaign.
suitable
Woo!
for all levels of experience. In our new 3-player co-op versus AI mode, you'll level up your heroes, collect rewards, and customize your forces to open up new styles of gameplay and long-term variety.
I forget what was the name of that game mode that was in StarCraft 2? It was called like Defend the Spire or something like that, or that's I think that's actually just an entirely separate video game. They're probably taking a level of inspiration from that for this co-op three-player experience here. Defense of the Ancients? Is that
free to play,
well?
but not pay to win, and there will be no NFT.
God damn it. I hate that we are in a world and environment today where this shot is something that you have to add to your game. That you have to add a screen that says, by the way, we're not doing NFTs in our game. Like, I'm glad, I feel bad for people that lost a shitload in NFTs, and I also dislike the people that just, like, robbed other people blind through NFTs, and I'm glad that they've very quickly, like, showed up and have gone away almost as quickly as they showed up, but, man, in the annals of gaming history, there is going to be this major chapter that is like the rise and fall of NFTs. And unfortunately, you're going to see bitches like Ubisoft and Square Enix having their own dedicated sections of like, this is why this was a bad idea. Everybody hated them, and everyone realized that they hated them, and we had to figure out, and it started to announce that they weren't associated with them. Oh, man.
Beta testing starts next year, and you can sign up now to reserve your place in line at playstormgate.com.
Okay, so that's it. There was just these couple of little scenes. Like I said, it was not much. We get to see like this portal to hell open up with some bats pouring out of it, and then this pre-alpha in-engine footage where there's just a little bit of units. We got a couple of like foot soldiers here, a couple of like the suit people that we saw in the cinematic, some like dinosaur looking things, and then the big winged demon enemy that we saw. I guess these are more along the lines of like dogs. So we didn't get a whole lot out of it, but we did at least get a very rough idea of the art style. And it's interesting. It's not surprising given that these are StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 devs, but in a lot of ways it feels like they took Warcraft and StarCraft and smushed them together to make this art style, because it's kind of got the cartoony aspect of Warcraft 3, but it's got obviously like the mechs and the general vibe and tone of StarCraft in it. So yeah, that's Stormgate from Frost Giant Games. I'll be looking forward to this one. I'm not, as we already talked about. Defense of the Ancients was the one in Warcraft, though, wasn't it, Cerulean? I believe, I can't remember what the one in StarCraft 2 was called. I don't think it was called Defense of the Ancients. Maybe it was. I mean, I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that one. But as we talked about at the beginning of this, I do not care at all about the esports aspect of RTS games. I can appreciate them. Watching professional StarCraft is mind-blowing. Do I have any interest in partaking in it, even like casually? Absolutely not. My favorite thing to do, as we already talked about, is like play army men, build a base, run the base out. If I'm playing with other people, like I want to be on the same team, and we can slowly tick the AI's difficulty up to the point where it is challenging and I feel like I need to strategize without resulting to the strategies that you see in esports. Because like I did try a little bit of competitive Warcraft 3 way back in the day, and you did that whole strategy of like, yeah, you play orcs, you start with Blade Master, you run your Blade Master over there and harass them. If you can try and kill a couple of their peasants, if you get one building down, the game is basically locked. Like I remember that and remember disliking it because I was like, man, this is not how I like to play RTS games at all. It felt actively unfun. And so really the interest for me then is the more casual experience, both as like a single player experience and as a co-op experience. I did play the co-op mode in StarCraft 2, and I can say that I enjoyed it just because it was a co-op game. You had this focus and these goals and these missions that you needed to take care of, and I liked that. Like, I do not care about the esports, but I will be interested to see if this game can kind of bring RTS games back to the forefront. We've been getting RTS games, but a lot of them are indie projects. Some of them are really impressive indie projects. We've had some major branded experiences that are like licensed games. Like, I think we had like a Terminator one. It looked really cool, but I don't feel like any of them are ever taking off in terms of gaining genuine traction, a player base, a user base, a viewer base, the way that games like Warcraft and StarCraft ever did. Given that these are Warcraft and StarCraft devs, I can hope that they will manage to do so, but it's a hard world out there in terms of gaining extra eyes on your game, especially if you want to be another major esport. So good luck, Frost Giant Games. I do truly wish you the best. I hope that Stormgate is good. I will be very interested to see what you put in there in terms of a casual single player or co-op experience for people like me. And I will look forward to more of this next year, because I don't think we're seeing much else. Like, maybe something at the Game Awards, because that'll be in December, so it should be around 6 months out between when, like, we'll have the beta. But I don't know. We might actually just be waiting until the summer gaming events next year, because that'd be right around when the beta is actually starting. They could do some big announcement push during that time frame. That'd probably be a more reasonable approach, because I don't think that putting something at the Game Awards for something that you still won't even potentially get into the beta for 6 more months will be that beneficial. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not that type of business savvy. But to you watching right now, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Stormgate, on Frost Giant Games being composed of a bunch of ex-StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 devs? Where do you sit on RTS games? What type of RTS player are you? Are you a casual player like me that wants to play army men and set up a cool base and build a cool army? Or are you ready to macro micro your brain out and tackle your opponents with only 2.5 enemies that you snuck up a back channel and completely managed to wreck their entire resource system with, and that you're just going to completely take over the game? I'd love to hear from you. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to keep with the conversation elsewhere, though, 2 great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you go watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. But yeah, Eve, I have not looked at many of the details because I don't really care, but 343 Industries came out and announced that the current season that they're in of Halo, which I think is only season 2, is going to be extended out to be a total of 10 months long. Season 3 won't be starting until like May or something of next year. They have canceled couch co-op entirely, which is hilarious because people have already got it working, not even with modding the game, literally just by glitching the game, they got it to work. And a whole bunch of other shit. Like, they came out with like a 30-minute announcement and everyone was just like, Halo is dead. Like, everyone was already upset when the game came out, and then all this shit happened. They're like, yeah,
Halo is dead.
Have a good night, Cerulean. Thank you for stopping by and chatting with us for a couple of these. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. Like, these are more fun when there are people doing them with me, but I will totally do them by myself for the sake of my own content and channel and everything like that. So I appreciate both of you immensely for being here. I totally understand needing to go to bed. Have a good night. I will see you next time. I appreciate you. What? Okay. If I just do those two, it's already 11:20 here, and I actually have to wake up early tomorrow, and I still need to edit one of these. I might stop there as well. That way I have enough time to edit one of these and get it posted and scheduled. And that would mean I'm good for Thursday and Friday, but I would need to record on Friday to get Saturday and Sunday. I was planning on streaming on Friday to try and finish up Steel Rising if possible. But I don't have to wake up as early on Saturday. Yeah, we'll just stop there. That's fine.